Good morning. From the school board, administration, faculty, and staff, we are honored to have you here this morning as we honor the graduates of the Cumberland Valley High School class of 2019. The graduation ceremony is one of celebration, yet at the same time, it is one of formality, politeness, and respect. We politely request that you join us in formalizing our ceremony this morning. We begin by asking you to silence all cell phones during the ceremony. We sincerely want to honor each speaker and each student on this special occasion and encourage respect throughout the morning. We want every student and their family to have the opportunity to have their son or daughter honored. Thank you in advance for your helping us in this way. At this time, I'm going to ask that we all rise. Gentlemen, remove your hats as we honor America on this special occasion with seniors Elizabeth Ryder and Sophia Sarnowski singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning, and welcome again to the commencement ceremony for the Cumberland Valley High School class of 2019. Today, I stand before not only the approximately 660 soon-to-be graduates, but also those who have supported them along the way: family, friends, mentors, and many more. And it is only just to begin this ceremony by thanking everyone in the audience who has helped each graduate get to where they are today. While the journey has been long and surely stressful, your contributions have had an undeniable impact on this class. And I must, of course, take a moment to thank the people who have been there for my journey, my family. Most importantly, my father, who has dealt with more of my teenage sarcasm than he would have liked, and my mother, who, though not here physically, is certainly here in spirit. Thank you. I also would like to take a moment to acknowledge the teachers and staff who have helped us along the way, as we students often take for granted the effort that goes into providing our education. Without your guidance and support that so often went beyond the classroom, we would not be here today. Again, thank you. But now, I turn to you, my fellow graduates, as this day marks the beginning of our transition into adulthood. We are leaving behind the lives we've known for so long to begin a new chapter. However, what we must remember is the journey that has led to this moment. When I hear former graduates speak of their time in high school, they always seem to remember the fun parts, reminiscing on what many people describe as the best years of their lives. They recall the wild times with friends, the young romances, the teachers who made learning enjoyable, and the carefree nature that accompanied it all. Yet, it feels as though these stories are incomplete. While I would like to speak of the amusing, childlike memories that we have created over the last 4 years, I know that it is not that simple. I will not make assumptions about your pasts, as I know very little of them, and I cannot possibly represent an entire class with my own. But after listening to my peers give their philosophies of life and speak of the lives they've led, I know that I'm not the only one here today who has had a less than ideal high school experience. For many of us, it has been a series of battles that we constantly fought, only for new ones to arise whenever we believed we had finally conquered them. We've looked forward to this day not in excitement for what the future holds, but for relief. In fact, I'm sure that each of us has felt this way at one point or another, as we've each had our own share of pain. We have dealt with stress in trying to move past it, and we have faced the uncertainty of what will come in the aftermath. So, as I stand on this stage today, I want to recognize those who have struggled. For anyone who has felt as though they've suffered in silence, or who has voiced their pain but found little acknowledgement. For anyone who has felt invisible within the social hierarchy. For anyone who thinks they've left no mark at Cumberland Valley because their actions were never rewarded. For anyone whose only goal was to make it through the day, because even that seemed impossible at times. And for anyone else who has struggled in any capacity to get here today, I see you. While I may not know who you are, and maybe I never will, I acknowledge your efforts. And I'm here to tell you that we did it. We pushed through whatever obstacles life has thrown at us, and we've proved to ourselves that we are ready to take on the world. Yes, we have had periods of weakness, as every person does, but the fact that we are here and ready to walk across the stage shows that we are stronger than the challenges we've overcome. Now, as we move on from these last 4 years, we have a decision to make. We can let those negative memories remain in the past, or we can carry them with us into the future. It is tempting to leave them behind and avoid any unwelcome emotions that they could cause. However, we must consider the latter option, as the most arduous moments offer the most valuable lessons. Yes, there will be more pain, more stress, and more uncertainty. And at times, the obstacles that present them may seem insurmountable. But as we begin to witness these hardships beyond high school, we can choose to remember the barriers which we have already surpassed. We can remember the strength we've shown and know that we can overcome whatever is thrown our way. And we can use our most harrowing memories to empower us. After all, our generation will run the world in the not-too-distant future, and we have many more battles to win before we get there. So, while you may be sitting here today relieved that your high school experience is over, remember all that you have achieved, because making it this far is no small feat. So, class of 2019, it is my honor to stand on this stage and tell you that you made it. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your lives.
Good morning. It is my pleasure to recognize some groups within the graduating class of 2019. Will the seniors of Gold Cords please stand up and face the audience? All these seniors are graduating with at least a 96% grade point average over their high school career. Congratulations. Thank you. You can sit down. You will see students wearing red and white stoles over their gowns. These are students that are members of the William Pierce National Honor Society. Would all members of the National Honor Society please stand up and be recognized at this time? Great job, thank you. We are proud to recognize our National Merit Scholarship finalists. What started with over 1.5 million entrants ended with 15,000 finalists. With Christopher Carroll, Sarah Chaco, Mehul Gupta, Lauren Rhodes, Avani Sangvi, and Amanda Works, please stand up and be recognized. Great job. With students who completed in the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program at CV and wearing the light gray stoles, please stand up. And let's congratulate these students for accepting the academic challenges of this reputable two-year program. Well done. You guys can stand up. The AP Scholar with Distinction is granted to students who receive an average score of at least 3.5 on all AP exams taken and a score of 3 or higher on 5 or more of these exams. This year, we have 37 students who are receiving the Advanced Placement Diploma with Distinction. Please stand up. They are wearing the light blue cords. Thank you. We have 5 students who received the distinguished honor of National AP Scholar, which is granted to students in the United States who receive an average score of at least 4 on all AP exams taken, or 4 or higher on 8 or more of these exams. Congratulations to Sarah Chaco, Jiwon Han, Sean Patch, Avani Sangvi, and Alex Vana. Thank you. We have students who received the E. Jerry Brooks Academic Excellence Award. Please stand up. These students are wearing medals. These 17 students maintain a cumulative GPA of 95% or higher and participated in at least 2 varsity sports and earn a minimum of 3 varsity letters. Great job. Would all seniors who received awards and scholarships as recognized in the program, and those of you who attended the Senior Academic Awards Night, please stand up and face the audience. These seniors have been honored for their academic success, artistic, musical, or athletic prowess, and service to the community or other distinguished category. I am proud to share with you that the class of 2019 has been offered over $7.4 million in scholarships. That is awesome. And you may sit down. I would like to recognize the following senior groups to stand. Please hold your applause until all these groups are standing and introduced. Students, please remain standing until all groups have been recognized. Our senior class officers are wearing medallions. You may stand up. Our members of National Art Society are wearing multicolored cords. Wearing blue and gold cords are members of our Key Club. Our It Takes One senior club leaders are wearing light blue cords. Wearing blue and gold stoles are the FFA officers. Our World Language Honor Society members are wearing green and blue cords. Our Valedictorian and Salutatorian are wearing medals. Our Hall of Fame award recipients are wearing medallions. Wearing red and white cords are members of Student Council. Members of Argus and CVI are wearing blue and yellow cords. Members of Mock Trial are wearing blue, red, and purple cords. UNICEF Club members are wearing light blue, teal cords. Students who are graduating with honors in our Project Lead the Way engineering program are wearing blue stoles. Members of the Future Business Leaders of America are wearing navy blue and gold cords. Wearing purple cords are members of our preschool Level 4 honors program. Students who have completed all 4 levels in our JRTC program are wearing red and yellow cords. We have seniors that are Eagle Scouts who are wearing their medals. And we have seniors who are Girl Scouts who receive the Gold Award, which represents the highest achievement in Girl Scouting. It's a lot of you standing up. Let's give these seniors a round of applause for their involvement and effort. Thank you. You may sit down. I would like to recognize some additional student groups. Would members of the CV Minithon Planning Committee who are wearing the blue and white cords please stand up? Their overall leaders are Emily Bowman, Sophie Iyer, and Haley Saucier. And get this, there were 283 Minithons this year that raised money for the 4 Diamonds. CV raised the most amount out of all those Minithons with a total of $305,748. It gets better. This senior class, in their 4 years, have raised $1,171,631. That is fantastic. Just a couple other notes. Since the inception of CV Minithon in 2007, our students have raised a total of $2,210,756.31. That is amazing. And I believe Mrs. Griebel and Mr. Roy Stanley are here tonight, and I would ask them to stand up. I want to thank them for their leadership, their time and dedication, for working with all these students. You may sit down. Seniors who received the Soaring Eagle Award, please stand up. These are seniors. They're wearing the Soaring Eagle pin, and they're students of recipients of this award based on the following criteria. They were generally friendly toward all students, exhibited good citizenship, have made a positive impact on the lives of others, have made a significant stride towards turning their life around, and have overcome great adversity. Congratulations to your perseverance. Thank you. I would ask that our senior Spirit Club leaders, Maddie Gillespie, Daniel Cody, and Taya Valcarcel, please stand up. SPIRIT is an acronym meaning Student Problem Identification and Resolving Issues Together. This club's purpose is to encourage our student body to celebrate and embrace the differences of others and help make all our students feel connected, welcome, and comfortable at our school. We all appreciate your work. Thank you so much. We have students wearing red, white, and blue cords, and these students are students who have enlisted in the military service, are attending a military academy, or they're entering college as an ROTC member. Would those students please stand up and let's thank them for their upcoming service to our country. Thank you. All right, I'm almost done. Seniors, behind you are your parents and family members who have supported you through your years of education with their time, money, and resources. Beside you and in front of you are representatives from the faculty, staff, and administration who have played a part in molding you into the young person that you are today. Among them are your school counselors, Miss Liz Bayshore and Miss Brianne McGuire, your 12th grade principal, Mrs. Colleen Staten, and Mr. David Gilbert, who was your grade level principal in 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, your secretary, Mrs. Susie Posovic, and of course, your class officers, Miss Liz Bayshore and Mrs. Melissa Blacksmith. All these caring staff members, including all your teachers and staff members through the years and through previous years, have worked hard for you and with you. So seniors, will you please stand up right now, all of you. Face your parents, friends, and family, and show them how much you appreciate them with a round of applause. Okay, and seniors, you can turn around and face me, but don't sit down yet because you're going to be sitting for a long time. So just stand out and stretch it out a little. Before you sit down, I would like to share one last thought. We are so proud of all our graduates, and I feel it is important to take a moment to acknowledge that everyone's path to this day has been different, some more difficult than others. To those of you who have overcome challenges and obstacles during this journey, from the entire staff at Cumberland Valley School District, we want you to know how proud we are of your perseverance to stick with it, to obtain your degree. That's awesome. You're on your way to a better future. And I personally want to thank you for being a fantastic group of seniors. My best wishes to the class of 2019. Thank you.
You can go ahead and be seated. Good morning. Before I begin the opportunity I have to speak to you, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Mark Blanchard, and I have the privilege of serving this community as the principal of Cumberland Valley High School. I would like to thank two people before I begin my speech this morning. First is Mrs. Christy Jordan. The production of an off-site graduation ceremony, especially for such a large school, is no easy task. Mrs. Jordan not only makes this happen, but she does so with excellence. Thank you, Mrs. Jordan. And also, before I begin, I didn't ask him if I could do this because I know he would have told me no, but I would like to publicly acknowledge that today is not just the final act for our students, but it's also the final act for our superintendent, Dr. Fred Witham. After 35 years of serving the students and families of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the final 6 of those years here at CV, Dr. Witham, on behalf of those you have served, I congratulate you and would also like to thank you. Well, good morning, class of 2019. As the lead principal of Cumberland Valley High School, I am privileged to have the opportunity to speak to you on this morning of your graduation. This is my 11th graduation speech, so from experience, I suffer no delusion that you will long remember my words. Abraham Lincoln was obviously wrong when he shared that as part of his Gettysburg Address. Likely, I will not be wrong about this. Though you may not remember the specifics this morning of my speech, I do harbor some hope that you might remember an important idea, one that might take root and produce some meaningful harvest in your life. Over the course of the past 2 years, and especially this past year, I've had the opportunity to witness some incredible things from you. I don't have time to recount all of the local, regional, state, and even national level of performances. I've had a front row seat to district championships, award-winning theater productions, regionally and state-recognized musicians, championship-winning competitions. Your success as a class is broad. Academics, athletics, the arts, you have pursued and accomplished much as a class. And for that, I want to offer my recognition and respect for what you have done. And there is a reason that I think it's important that we stop and consider all that you have accomplished. It is because of this simple truth that I'm hoping you're going to remember. And that truth is this: talent is overrated. That's right, talent is overrated. In 1992, a group of researchers in England went looking for talent. Specifically, they decided to look for musical talent because that's the talent that most people feel certain exists. There's a reason that some people can sing and that others cannot. You know who you are. So researchers spent several months studying, examining more than 250 students. After conducting hundreds of interviews of these students, parents, teachers, after examining dozens of data points, researchers did come to a definitive conclusion. Among all the variables that could possibly influence musical ability, researchers found only one factor that proved statistically valid in predicting musical success. Just one and only one. That was simply this: the number of hours they practiced. Students reached advanced levels of musical performance at earlier ages than other students simply because they practiced more each day. Alex Ross, the music critic at The New Yorker, summed up the study well when he stated most people don't understand that Mozart became Mozart because he worked furiously harder than other composers at the time. The point of sharing that study, and there are dozens just like it that show the very same thing, is to say this: I have witnessed great things from scores and scores of you over the past 2 years, and there is a common denominator. You did not roll out of bed and simply walk into success. You worked for it. The Beatles, Bobby Fischer, Bill Gates, they all put in thousands of hours refining their craft before anyone knew who they were. Sure, they may have had certain propensities or traits or interests, but those things need to be cultivated. What you have accomplished is not the result simply of strolling along this path. It is the result of conscious and purposeful work. So, we celebrate this morning not for your talent, but for your work ethic, for your determined pursuit of great things and accomplishments. That is the first thing that I want to share with you this morning. And I want to affirm this in your life, that the one thing you can control is your work ethic. That is the single greatest variable in your future success. But I expect that there are some of you who may not be ready to buy what I'm selling. Now, you're not quite ready to say that I'm wrong, not consciously anyway. You hear what I'm saying, but maybe that has not been your experience. For you, high school was fairly easy. Your schoolwork, your athletic accomplishments, your musical performances, it all came pretty easy for you. And to you, I want to offer this morning my second word, and that is a word of warning. It's going to get harder. And likely that is going to happen soon. The world is designed to prune you. You will face increased competition, greater challenges, and larger problems to solve. And it is not your talent that will win the day, but rather your willingness to work, to exercise yourself, whether in the weight room or the practice room or the classroom or the lab. Maybe it's in the garage or the shop or the kitchen. Maybe it's in the field. It is a conscious decision to put in the time necessary to overcome the obstacles in front of you. Now, I hope that you understand that I'm not saying your talent doesn't matter, that certain gifts are unimportant. Of course they are. But what I am saying is that talent is overrated, and that we oftentimes underrate the amount of work necessary to be successful. 2 of my 4 children play instruments. I've been to a lot of music festivals and concerts over the past 4 years. And I've noticed something about musical instruments, and if any of the parents in the audience have musicians as children, you will agree, musical instruments are expensive. There is quality in the material, and there is careful craftsmanship in the construction. There is design, and there is shine. These instruments have everything they need to produce a beautiful sound. But there's something that I have never experienced in all my time at these music festivals. The sweet sound of a trumpet or an oboe or a cello coming from the instrument itself. Perhaps you, student, perhaps you are that finely crafted instrument, well-made and sparkling. But even you, with all of your shine and all of your design, require work to make the best of what you are capable of producing. You students have been successful to this point, not simply because you are talented, but because you have worked to achieve. As you move forward, though the challenges grow, the formula remains the same. Identify your goal, understand what it will take to attain, and commit to the work necessary to accomplish. You will not achieve anything worth having without a firm commitment to work. No one rolls out of bed. Remember, talent is overrated. But you, Cumberland Valley class of 2019, you most definitely are not. My best to all of you as you step out into the future. Thank you.
Speaking of hard work, the 2019 Salutatorian is Alexander Vona. Alex is finishing his Cumberland Valley career with a GPA of 107.7. It is possible. With 11 AP courses on his transcript, Alex has been recognized as a National AP Scholar. He is a member of both the National Honor Society and the World Language Honor Society. Alex, after completing the Project Lead the Way engineering pathway, will pursue civil engineering at Penn State this fall. Basketball and friends dominate his free time, the little bit that he has after school commitments. So congratulations to 2019 Salutatorian, Alex Vona.
Good morning, fellow classmates, faculty, family, and friends. Thank you for attending this memorable ceremony. It's a very special day because it's the one day that all of you out there get to experience the same sort of things us students have had to suffer through for the past 4 years. You guys have to sit through or sleep through hours of random people speaking and a whole bunch of random names just for your students' 5 seconds of fame when their name gets called and they come up on stage. And if that's not love, I don't know what is. So today I'm speaking to you all as the salutatorian of the class of 2019. Many have asked me what this means to me, and to be honest, I still don't really know. Technically, it means I had the second highest grades in the class, but to me, grades don't matter that much. I don't see them as a good measurement of success nor intelligence. Yet being salutatorian is a blessing and a curse. It's nice to get the recognition for my hard work, but at the same time, this extra homework assignment of making a speech in front of thousands of people is not a great reward. To my friends, me being salutatorian means being the first loser, because if you're not first, you're last. And while I hope they're just teasing me, I do think it's a good quote to live by, to strive to be your best and to push yourself. One thing I very much push myself with is this speech, because much like every other assignment in my 4 years of high school, I waited until the very last minute to do it. I know everyone always says procrastination is a bad thing, but hey, it got me here, so. When Mr. Blanchard told me about this speech, I was a little concerned. He said the guidelines were non-existent, so I could come up here and talk about anything I wanted to. I could come up here and rant for 10 minutes about how much I hate the Golden State Warriors and their bandwagon fans, talking about you, Yajer. Or I could talk about how much I hate Antonio Brown, but I won't do that either. Another one of my worries was that I was going to say the same exact thing as Amanda, the valedictorian. But then I realized I was going before her anyway, so it didn't really matter. Eventually, after a lot of thinking and advice from others, I decided to talk about how much everybody hates school. Or at least how much everybody says they hate school. I know I've said it, my friends have said it, and my little sister Kate says it every day when she gets home. And I'm sure most teachers have even uttered the phrase, "I hate school." And I'm sure there's a lot to hate. Waking up at 6 a.m. every day, boring lectures, math pop quizzes, and of course when there's a false fire alarm on the coldest day of winter. But deep down inside everybody, I know there's at least one good thing that has come out of high school. As much as the classes may bore us, some teachers do their best to make the days fun. Some of us had enjoyed time playing sports, participating in the musical, or making art. Many of us have made new friends. Whatever your reason, you can't deny that high school has had a huge impact on your life in at least one positive way. And I think we should remember high school for the positives, as life is likely to get a whole lot more difficult. One of the positives for me and many others is that high school has given us new opportunities. Personally, I've always been a very quiet kid, and I still am today, but I've definitely opened up more in the past 4 years. It's quite ironic that some of the speakers here today are probably some of the most quiet kids in the school. But I think this goes to show the benefits of high school. We've all learned to challenge ourselves and make better versions of ourselves, and by being here today, we have succeeded at that. Today truly marks the end of 4 of the most important years of our lives, and CV has certainly had some interesting moments along the way. This senior year, so many great things have happened. I think it's been our best year as we became adults and had a much bigger impact on the school. We got the first male on homecoming court. Shout out to DeVarsh. Our football team, well, we can forget about them for this year. And Minithon raised over $300,000 all for the kids. The group of students graduating today is truly special and has accomplished things many other classes have not. Therefore, I also want to talk about what defines our class. Our class motto: dream big, work hard, be kind. It's not a bad motto, but the fact that I had to dig around for 20 minutes on the website trying to find it shows how well it's been implemented. Although you may not have heard of this motto until about 10 seconds ago, I think it's been essential in getting us here today and is also important for the future. I'll start with be kind, as I think it's the most important. I'm sure as we move forward, there will be plenty of people we hate and just want to yell at. I know it's the hard choice, but being kind in these situations is the right choice. Being kind has allowed us to make new friends so far and will help us create new opportunities in the future. Next, dream big. It always confused me that our teachers tell us to dream big, but get mad at us whenever we sleep in class. Just doesn't make sense. Regardless, whatever the future holds for you, don't limit yourself. If you've made it this far, there's not much that can stop you. No matter where you go next, do it with confidence and high hopes. Trust the process. Finally, work hard. My friend Joey inspired me with a quote the other day from lyrical genius Blueface. Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business. Right now, all the hard work we have done is about to be paid off as we are handed our fake diplomas. But that doesn't mean we should stop working hard. For those going into the workforce or armed forces right away, continue to work hard. And for those continuing their education, keep studying hard. It really is time for us to handle business now. Everybody has changed in the past 4 years. Change is scary, but our lives are all about to change even more. The best thing we can do is face it head on, tackle life's challenges, and don't be afraid to change. But always keep in mind the great memories you had of high school. To end, I want to thank my parents, my sisters, Melanie and Kate, and all the family here for me today. Also, to my friends, BS4 and the Bulls, thanks for the great times, but get good at the game. And everyone else, thank you for listening, and have a great rest of your day.
Amanda Works is a class of 2019 valedictorian, having earned a GPA of 108.67. In the past 4 years, Amanda has taken 14 AP or IB courses and 9 honors courses. She is a National Merit Finalist, a U.S. Presidential Scholar Candidate, an AP Scholar with Distinction, and a member of the National Honor Society and National World Language Honor Society. She has also earned her Girl Scout Gold Award by planning and running a fall festival for local foster and adoptive families. This was the most prominent of many examples of community service in her life, as she has always believed in using what God has given her to help those around her. Amanda has been an active member of various clubs at Cumberland Valley, including Sounds of Healing, Memory Team, Styles, UNICEF, and FCA. Outside of school, she enjoys traveling, singing, playing piano, hiking, and participating in her church's youth group activities and service projects. As a National Merit Finalist, Amanda will be attending Liberty University with a full-ride scholarship. She will be a member of the honors program and will be majoring in elementary education with a dual licensure in special education and minors in French, psychology, and linguistics. Congratulations to the 2019 valedictorian, Amanda Works.
Good morning. Before I begin, I would like to say that it's easy to think we're here today to celebrate ourselves, the students. And don't get me wrong, we definitely are. But the reality is that we're here to celebrate everyone else just as much. So before I say anything else, I too need to say thank you. To our teachers, who've chosen to spend their lives helping to make us into the people we are today. My teachers challenged me to go outside of my comfort zone, encouraged me through every hard day, pushed me to work hard and reach my full potential, and most importantly, showed me that learning is about a lifestyle, not a to-do list. I would never have reached where I am today without each and every one of you, and I can speak for the class when I say that the impact you all have made on our lives will never be forgotten. And to the rest of the faculty, you made possible everything we've accomplished in the past 4 years, and for that, we will always be grateful. To our families, who have and will continue to support us through every step of the way, our accomplishments as well as the character each of us has developed must also be credited to you. I know that the constant support, love, and encouragement from my parents, brothers, grandparents, and the rest of my family helped me to achieve my greatest goals and to maintain my sanity while I did so. And last but never least, we must say thank you to each other, to all of my friends and classmates in the class of 2019, as we've walked side by side through this journey together from day one. 1,375 days ago, we walked into Cumberland Valley High School thinking it'd be everything we'd ever dreamed of. But before we knew it, the honeymoon period was over, and we started counting down the days until this one. Freshman year started with us sitting in the pack, looking at the mountain Prezi on the screen and not believing them when they said we would be graduating before we knew it. I remember us being confused why so few of our classes were actually in the freshman wing, and wondering what it really means to choose the real, our class quote. In bio, we learned that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. And who knew that my first time snorkeling would be in the CV pool instead of in the Caribbean? Sophomore year rolled around. Now we were more comfortable. We finally felt like high schoolers, and most importantly, we were no longer freshmen. In Gov, we learned how to understand our Constitution. In Chem, that a mole was a unit of measurement and not just an animal. And in Econ, how to do more graphs than we ever knew were possible. Many of us started to drive, and some of us ended the year with our license and the feeling of independence we never had before. Junior year, we were finally promoted to upperclassmen, although some of us had the unpleasant realization that the underclassmen somehow looked older than we did. We got to start choosing our study halls, and we could get early release, my personal favorite, late arrival, teaching me the important life lesson that a little extra sleep can go a long way. And now this year, senior year. In my opinion, it's been the best of them all, and it's flown by. We've all had to deal with senioritis hitting hard, yes, even me, and with constantly getting asked our favorite question, so what are your plans after you graduate? But thankfully, most of us finally have those answers. A lot has happened this year with our last homecoming, football games, mini-thon, and prom, but everything has been building up to this moment, and now, here we are. Through these 4 years of high school, one of the biggest lessons I've learned is the importance of not comparing ourselves to others. I'm honored to be the one standing up here on stage before you today, but in reality, every student here deserves recognition for what they've accomplished during our time at CV. We're all different, and that's how it should be. If we all excelled at the same things, our school and our world would be dull and mundane. We need to embrace our passions, not compare them to each other's. Likewise, I've often felt pressured to adapt my dreams to fit the idea of success defined by the people around me. It seemed everyone thought there were only 3 different fields you could go into to be considered successful in life. But I've realized in the past few years that since everyone is different, all of our dreams can look different too. For me, I'm going to study education because of the teachers I've had over the years who have changed my life, and I want that same opportunity to help shape the world one student at a time. And I love learning, which is why I've reached where I am today, and I want to share that love of learning with the next generation. Everyone's dreams come in different shapes, but no dream is more or less valid than anyone else's. Make sure that you find the dream that is inside your heart, not the one inside your head, the one that will bring you fulfillment, not just a loaded bank account and society's approval. From everything I've learned in life, both from my own experiences and from the advice of those much wiser than myself, I can say that I truly believe that you will only be happy if you chase the dream inside your soul. Uncover that dream and work to make it a reality. A second lesson I've learned is the importance of slowing down to enjoy the moments in life before they're gone. I was recently hiking with my family up a mountain to see some waterfalls. However, the path was a little steeper than I anticipated, and since we were hiking soon after a rainstorm, the rocks were muddy and slippery. Therefore, I was concentrating on each step I took, making sure to get a firm footing and to avoid all the mud. I was thinking negatively about how steep this mountain was and how I just wanted to reach the top. Before I knew it, though, we were there, and I was relieved for a minute. But as soon as I took in the beauty of the waterfall, I realized that I had missed the views all the way up. I was so distracted with the negative aspects of my experience that I missed out on all the positive ones. Therefore, when we started the hike back down the mountain, I made sure to keep an eye on my footing while still enjoying the scenery all around me. Yes, my shoes got a little muddy, but I could always clean them later, because life is a little muddy. If you're just focused on avoiding all the mud puddles of life, you'll never get to enjoy it to the fullest. So while it's so important that you focus on your goals and dreams in life, reaching the top of the mountain, and that you're cautious of the steps and choices you take to get there, it is also important that you appreciate the moment you are currently living. Over the summer for AP English, we read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, a simple story about a shepherd boy who sets off on a journey to follow his destiny. The underlying messages about chasing your dreams and embracing the moment are very powerful, and while there are many quotes I could have chosen, this one seems especially relevant today. I don't live in either my past or my future. I'm interested in the present because life is the moment we're living right now. As we all head off in separate directions, it's important that we don't live in our pasts, feeling nostalgic and wishing we could relive the good old days, or regretting what we did wrong and wishing we had made different choices. It's also important that we don't get caught up in our futures, always worrying about potential problems or chasing the next big goal without ever stopping to enjoy what we already have. We have the opportunity now to start fresh, without anyone knowing who we used to be, and based on our actions in the present, we can determine who we become in the future. Don't let anyone else decide that for you. The Shepherd Boy in The Alchemist concludes by realizing the sentiment I want to leave you with today. Someday, this morning would just be a memory, but this was the present moment, and I wanted to live it as I did the lessons of my past and my dreams of the future. As we leave here today, never forget what you have learned during your time at CV, and never lose sight of where you are headed. But while you keep both of these in mind, make sure you slow down to enjoy the present moment, because as the novel says, life is the moment we're living right now. Now we go out to start the next chapter of our lives, and no matter where we go, what we do, or who we become, we can never forget where we came from, this school and the people here who helped to shape us into the men and women we are today. 1,375 days ago, we walked into Cumberland Valley High School, but we certainly aren't the same people walking away to change the world today. Thank you.
Congratulations, CV class of 2019. We're getting closer and closer to turning the tassel and taking that big step into the world. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet, as I'm sure you guys are itching to get out of here and throw your caps off and leave high school behind. It has been such a privilege to serve as your president, and I'm so excited to see where you will all be in the next few years. But before we are launched into the future, as the rest of the speakers said, I think it is vital we take some lessons from our past with us so we can make informed decisions with them. So I want you to think way back to freshman year. What song was playing on everyone's iPhone 6Ss? While several come to mind, one of the biggest hits of 2016, Work by Rihanna, taught us some valuable lessons, including, well, work. Hard work was definitely a new skill we had to pick up freshman year, as the homework poured in week after week, seemingly without end or mercy. As Rihanna said it, just get ready for work, 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 work. You see me, I be work, 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 work. Rihanna taught us that there is importance in even the most tedious tasks and motivate us to give the tons of biology homework our best shot. But from my observation, everyone was having a blast and loving freshman year. It was the first time our entire graduating class was together, not split between schools, and a sense of identity seemed to go a long way. Then we wrapped up freshman year, and before we knew it, sophomore year was underway. And with a new year came new music, and rising to the top charts in 2017 was the one and only Despacito. Perfectly reflecting our sophomore experience, Despacito means slowly, which goes right along with the gruelingly long year filled with most of our first AP classes and heaps of homework. Anyone who took AP Econ can attest to that, especially those who had Mrs. Beaver, right? And most of us turned 16 and got our driving permits. And boy, did those 6 months between the day of our permit test and license test seem to go by slowly. I have to admit, though, I'm sure it went even more slowly for our parents, or for my parents at least. It seemed to slow down incredibly for my dad, who sat with white knuckles, screaming as I rolled right through a red light. But that's why we take lessons from the past into the future with us. One lesson I learned was that if I ever feel a hankering for some criticism about my driving, I just drive my dad somewhere. So parents and students alike had to learn some patience, real patience, sophomore year. But we will surely take that into adulthood, so I consider it time well spent. As we moved into the upper house, most of us could drive ourselves places, we could have a parking space, and we were becoming more independent. We were growing up. We had been at CV long enough to call it a home, but realizing we were starting to run out of time in high school. Everyone seemed to say junior year is the most stressful year in high school, and I'm sure none of us believed them until classes had a seemingly insurmountable amount of work, far beyond that of freshman and sophomore year, and we also had to worry about SATs and ACTs and college visits on top of that. We were all experiencing the pain of drowning in work, yet what I observed junior year was amazing. What amazed me was the size and spirit of our student sections. At first, it was just football games like every other grade did. Then we were going to boys and girls soccer games, boys and girls lacrosse, and girls field hockey. From this, I realized that one of our greatest attributes as a class is our unity. Groups and niches all supporting each other with our loud CV spirit. And to go right with it, in 2018, Drake released God's Plan, delivering his famous line, "Imagine if I'd never met the broskies." The infectious habit that took over our grade of saying bro in every sentence seems silly, but the spirit behind it is one of friendship and support that made our class as personable as it was. This spirit and fun we have would not have been as strong without the contrast of the pain of our hard work. So remember this work hard, play hard philosophy when we turn the tassel in a few short minutes. And this year seemed to fly by, filled with many last times doing this and last times doing that, and most of all, remember whens. Senior year is an important year to reflect and remember all the things that we learned so that we can take those memories with us and never forget how amazing our class is. And as if on cue, Ariana Grande released her famous Thank You Next, occupying the radio stations to this day. But the lyrics are more relatable to our high school experience, and especially our senior year, than any other song that has come before it. It perfectly describes the lessons we should take from each year that we were here in its irresistible line, and sing it with me if you know it. One taught me love, one taught me patience, and one taught me pain. Now I'm so amazing. I cannot wait to see where all of you will be in the upcoming years and all that you will accomplish. It has truly been an honor to serve as your president for such an amazing class. And while this is our last time all together for a long while, I hope that you all remember what we learned and shared here. Thank you, class of 2019. What's next?
Good morning, members of the school, Board of School Directors, honors guests, faculty and staff, administrators, parents, family, friends, and most of all, the class of 2019. I'd like to take a moment to recognize members of our faculty and staff who have acted tirelessly on behalf of this class and who have retired since we gathered here last or are retiring this summer. This year we bid farewell and best wishes to 13 teachers, 20 support staff, and 8 administrators, many with more than 30 years' experience in public education. All totaled, these faculty and staff have a combined 771 years of service to the Cumberland Valley School District. Retiring administrators and teachers include Renee Albison, Mark Baumgardner, Jane Boussard, Mary Ann Castle, Pamela Kreider, Susan Deacon, Mary Ellen Golden, Elise Harlan, Constance Henry, Patricia Hillary, Amy Lena, Deborah Lennox, Sean Marshall, Susan Meckler, Cindy Murray, Jane Musser, Gary Quigley, Albert Thompson, and Matthew Treese. Our retiring support professionals include Geraldine Black, Susan Baum, Teresa Brossman, Marie Castle, Marie Dorick, Tina Duncan, Melvin Ank, Marilyn Fowler, Carolyn Fake, Kathleen Fever, Bradley Gorder, Patricia Mathis, Harold Maurer, Danny Myers, Elizabeth Shroop, Kathy Silva, Natalie Spar, the ever-effervescent Evelyn Vogelson, Ann Wade, and Kathleen Watts. Thank you for your years of service to the Cumberland Valley School District. In addition, we have two other people here with us today who are celebrating a retirement of sorts. Mr. Robert Walker and Mr. Steve Winnie will complete their terms on the Board of School Directors this December. This will be their last graduation exercises as members of the board. Thank you for your service. So seniors, it was this exact week in June, many years ago, I was sitting exactly where you were sitting, and I was probably filled with the same hope and prayer that you all have at this very moment. Oh, dear Lord, please let this guy be brief. On that day, I wore this graduation tassel. Since then, I've had the opportunity to collect 38 other tassels, 3 for further degrees, and 1 for each of the classes that graduated while I was serving as an educator, culminating with a 35th tassel 40 years after this one, yours, the class of 2019. There's much the same in what these tassels represent, and there is much different in yours. As it did 40 years ago, your cap and gown and tassel, and shortly the diploma that you will receive, represent meaningful accomplishment. While we take graduation almost for granted at CV, 890,000 high school students across this country drop out before graduating, and around the world, almost 65 million young people are without access to a secondary school. Beyond your hard work, your tassel represents the commitment of the faculty, staff, and administration of the Cumberland Valley School District, the entire CV community, and most of all, your family. It also signifies that with love and support, you have managed to maneuver all that life has thrown at you, good and bad, and regardless of the extremes, you have stayed true to your academic goals. Finally, and sometimes more than any other, it will represent for you a time in your life filled with people and places and experiences that shaped who you are becoming. As each of your lives broaden and deepen, you will look back on these years, continuing to reflect on and reevaluate all that these years have meant in terms of your life as a whole. I guarantee you that it won't be long before a song, a movie that you catch when you're channel surfing, or a graduation tassel hanging from a rearview mirror in a car will take you back to reflect on the past 4 years. As for the difference, if you were graduating in 1979, you would have surely heard, besides really bad music, you would have surely heard people talk about the knowledge you have gained and how that knowledge will serve you for life. 40 years ago, education was a path with very specific endpoints marked by awarding of diplomas. Each of those diplomas represented a level of knowledge that you attained. The highest diploma, the end of your studies in a career area, was considered your terminal degree. The whole idea of standardized tests that you have all taken is linked to the idea that how much you demonstrate will likely be a prediction, or how much you demonstrate that you know will likely be a prediction of future success in your studies or career. At the most basic level, that is still true. Success for the class of 1979 was predicated on what you know. Success for the class of 2019 will be determined on what you can learn. Let me repeat that. Success for the class of 2019 will not be predicated on what you already know, but determined by what you can learn. Nothing represents this shift for your future more than a company that was founded just around the time all of you were born. Google has gone from an unknown entity first offering stock around the time of your second birthdays to a verb in the English language meaning to find out or learn about. In the span of your 13-year educational careers, the investment needed to know literally anything has been reduced from days and weeks and maybe even years and potentially tens of thousands of dollars to the time it takes to locate a phone and the cost of a data plan. One can learn about anything from HVAC to philosophy taught by Harvard professors, free and online. The past 2 decades have been mind-boggling for those of us here raised in the belief that when we received the diploma, we knew everything that we needed to know to enter and stay in the workforce at our chosen level. And I won't even begin to comment for those of us who struggle, who thought we had a wealth of information at our fingertips when we had access to an Encyclopedia Britannica. Especially the one with the fold-out pages, the human body. That was always the exciting one. Fortunately, for the generations surrounding you, the class of 2019 has not lived the change. You have led the change. One could make the argument that the class of 2019 should be up here on this stage, and those of us on the stage and in the audience should be graduating into your world. As a class, you have done more than simply strive for a good transcript to demonstrate what you know. You have developed academic and action-based portfolios unlike any other graduating class in the Cumberland Valley School District. After concentrating your elective courses in many areas, including art, agriculture, information technology, highly skilled and technical trades, pre-engineering, science, health and human services, business, hospitality and tourism, military science, and the fine and visual arts, you then set yourselves apart by receiving a record number of professional and industry certificates and by successfully completing more credits in college and AP classwork than any other class before you. You demonstrated your desire to manage your learning in non-traditional ways through online classes, blended courses, and Term 3. You then took what you were learning and scheduled an unprecedented amount of hours in internships, work studies, and apprenticeships. You also volunteered, advocated, worked part-time, and completed community service projects at a rate equal with any class before you. You have proved you are not a generation of students satisfied to know. You have demonstrated that you are a generation that is ready and prepared to do. I'd also add that even with all of that you accomplished, you still managed to schedule more slots of late arrival and early dismissal than any other class before you. Balance is good, we get it. Regardless if you start your career next week or after additional studies, at every level in every profession, employers want evidence that you are a learner. They want to know that you can take existing information and create something new. They want to know that you can utilize technology to solve problems and communicate solutions. They want to know that you can interact with coworkers as part of a team, rise to new challenges, accept and provide constructive criticism, create, collaborate, and be willing to manage change at a pace unprecedented before in human history. Because you, as a class, have prepared yourself to do all these things and more, the Cumberland Valley School District is following your lead. Beyond issuing diplomas, the CV Board of School Directors has adopted a new graduation policy that includes criteria to issue certificates indicating students are workforce, career, and post-secondary ready. The additions of certificates this year and for CV classes to follow is not for the class of 2019, it is because of the class of 2019. While our generation was often busy testing you to find out what you know, your generation was learning how to set a new standard in a very different world. As citizens, consumers, organizers, and advocates, your generation is already recognized as a physical and digital force to be reckoned with. When obstacles that represented the old way of doing things got in your way, you found workarounds and creative solutions so that you could learn the way that you wanted to, live the way that you wanted to, and pursue your dreams with whoever you wanted to. With all the difficulties and divisiveness in this world, I see hope unlike any other in all of you. In closing, I want to convey to you seniors that it is my honor to retire from 35 years in public education with this class and bookend my 36 tassels between a tassel from 1979 and a tassel from 2019. When we graduated in 1979, we thought we were all that. But I can honestly say, the class of 2019, you're all that and a bag of chips too. Don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. Congratulations. So if any of you have ever been here at previous graduations, you know that one of my favorite things to do as superintendent is to certify the class. It is a responsibility under the school code as a commissioned officer. And it's quite the honor. But this year, I really would like to pass the honor to another commissioned officer, an educator who has given his heart and soul to the Cumberland Valley School District. Some of you in the audience may have had him as a coach, a teacher, some of you in the class as a principal, a department chair, and now he serves as the assistant superintendent for secondary education. He didn't know this was going to happen, but I would like to pass this honor and ask Mr. Gary Quigley to come up here and certify the class of 2019.
Thank you, Dr. Witham. President Dunn, Vice President Drapp, Secretary Roush, members of the Board of the School Directors, as a commissioned officer of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, it is with great pride that I certify that the seniors gathered here today have met the standards of the Pennsylvania Department of Education and the requirements of the Cumberland Valley School District and are eligible to proudly receive their Cumberland Valley High School diplomas. And additionally, those eligible, their Cumberland Valley workforce, career, and post-secondary certificates.
First two rows, stand up. First two rows, stand up.
Just give it a second.
Just letting them get into line so we're not.
Amanda Joy Works.
Matthew Richard Todd.
Alexander Gopala Vona.
Lauren Mason Rhodes.
Sarah Plant.
Dakota Alexander Hartman.
Maxwell Albert Abom.
Christian Samuel Lehman.
Tyrell Michael Acey.
Kyle Grady Lehman.
Afreen Ahmad.
Linda Maria Leitzel.
Ahmad Al Ayubi.
Dominic Augustus Leo.
Nadia Diane Adalil.
Madison Taylor Lesher.
Iman Zubair Ali.
Brenna Elise Leddick.
Grace Alieth.
Ethan Clay Levis.
Andy Miguel Almonte.
Ari Ane Lang.
Ava Lucian Aloisi.
Jasmine Lynn.
Hadil Khalil Salah Al Suhaibani.
Blake Harrison Leprondo.
Sophie Aimley.
Brody Williams Liu.
Mackenzie Isabella Amarine.
Kylie Scout Liu.
Kiera Jean Anaker.
Layla Utsa.
Alessandra Admary Marquez Apaga.
Valerie Elizabeth Locke.
Haley Lynn Arbogast.
Vanessa Lynn Long.
Willow Bella Ash.
Gianni Edward Lamadou.
Rivati Parth Atuvle.
Joseph Peshoy Mawood.
David Robert Atkins.
Justin Foster Mackey.
Sayuj Atreya.
Connor Madison.
Tala Michelle Aki.
Stephen Madrick.
Andrew Ruslan Austin.
Tyler McGee.
Ava Lee Bachman.
Jalen Joseph McCooch.
Michaela Renee Bear.
Lily Renee Malone.
Rehab Baluli.
Sophia Ann Sarnowski.
Elizabeth Michelle Ryder.
Michael Alexander Malone.
Brianna Alexis Bailey.
Coral Ashley Malpass.
Madeline Elise Bailey.
David Charles Mangold.
Simerjot Kaur Baines.
Pranjal Mon.
Elizabeth Rajathi Belasundram.
Amelia Hope Mantione.
Ty Michael Banich.
Nicholas Ray March.
Cameron Alden Barnett.
Kyle Matthew Martin.
Matthew Jacob Barrett.
Madeline Page Martin.
Joseph Parker Bartholomew.
Taylor Corinne Mayberry.
Naomi Barton.
Valeria Megan Mazzone.
Ian Mason Beaulieu.
Briar Caleb McAllister.
Duncan Gregory Bedell.
Peyton Scott McCarroll.
Gunnar Ebert Beeman.
Cole Michael McLean.
Jared Townsend Bear.
Delaney Reese McCracken.
Rafael Bolito.
Haley Amber McGee.
David Paul Bellis.
Jacob Charles McKenzie.
Yasmin Benamar.
Jordan Tyler McVeigh.
Catherine Grace Bennett.
Kirsten Danielle Melder.
John Norman Berry.
Nicholas Alexander Melvin.
Lena Josephine Boy.
Maeve Kiwi Myhan.
Devarsh Bavsar.
Moira Kaylin Myhan.
Angad Buller.
Nicholas Michelson.
Anhad Buller.
Allison Kate Miller.
Colin Robert Bishop.
Andrew Peter Miller.
Gregory Patrick Blickley.
Cameron Andrew Miller.
Tyler Eric Blocker.
Melanie Ray Miller.
Riley Marie Bowinski.
Haley Elizabeth Miller.
Wyatt James Bowinski.
Tessa Marie Miller.
Carolyn Nicole Bolden.
Adam Jonathan Menarch.
Monai Bunan Taku.
Sienna Marie Mira.
Dahir Abdur Rahman Bor.
Malachi Aaron Mistano.
Ashlyn Crystal Bornman.
Benjamin Miskin.
Sarah Borsato.
Arjun Modi.
Emily Rose Bowman.
Layli Nargis Momond.
Zachary Thomas Boyanowski.
Garrett Ko Mulchin.
Christian Albert Boyd.
Carol Ann Molina.
Taryn George Brammer.
Matthew Scott Montgomery.
Lucas Nathaniel Brandt.
Jessica Phoebe Mooney.
James Kenneth Bretts II.
Hannah Madeline Moore.
Rachel Lynn Brewer.
Ivy Rose Mortar.
Alexander Lee Browse.
Caitlin Marie Morris.
Abigail Rose Brown.
Andrew Thaddeus Hunt Morrow.
Allison Renee Brown.
Landon Parker R. Morrow.
Brandon Michael Brown.
Jaden Donald Morton.
Gavin Harrison Brown.
Bhargava Sai Matapala.
Nicholas Alexander Bryan.
Sophie Olivia Mundus.
Jordan Kelly Brymesser.
Demetria Agatia Markavich.
Lena Beth Burgess.
Paris Joy Markavich.
Elizabeth Rose Butler.
Nicholas James Murin.
Muiz Irfan Butt.
Benjamin Ryan Myers.
Dylan Martin Bazalka.
Camden Albert Myers.
Smiley Cabral Tavares.
Emily Rose Myers.
Grayson Murphy Cantor.
Madison Alina Mislevich.
Trent David Capelli.
Farhan Nadeem.
Christopher Thomas Carroll.
Christopher Lee Nguyen.
Talia Elizabeth Casarella.
Crystal Nguyen.
Alfred Watkins Castle.
Liam Christopher Brink Neese.
Molly Isabel Selesky.
Dominic Julius Nateski.
Patrick Miller Sorelli.
Riley Elizabeth Noga.
Sarah Mary Jane Chaco.
Jaden Catherine Knoll.
Bhuvitha Chigantapati.
Lauren Elizabeth Nuss.
Sanket Vishwas Chandanchive.
Tayden Vesith Nu.
Sid Arnav Chaudhry.
Kaylee Lynn Nuss.
Justin Chen.
Shelby Ann Odell.
Kayla Marie Chismar.
Joshua David Olenek.
Aisha Ali Chowdhury.
Carolina Ignovava Alanek.
Andrew Theodore Clancy.
Emma Rose Olofsson.
Allison Nicole Clark.
Sean Michael Orner.
Lauren Elizabeth Clark.
Joshua Lucas Ostin.
Madison D. Clark.
Olivia Hope Ostrander.
Alexander Quinn Clark.
Noah Cole Pagney.
Grady O'Neill Clark.
Armand Pawa.
Mary Suzanne Clay.
Dylan Austin Parker.
Jack Joseph Clarkin.
Dylan Parker.
Kaylin Marie Kleitz.
Misty Parker.
Emma Elizabeth Coburn.
Timothy Parvin.
Lauren Sonoma Kalea Coca.
Elizabeth Ann Passwork.
Michael Ivan Cochran.
Sean Gregory Patch.
Daniel Hayes Cody.
Bhargav Patel.
Alyssa Michelle Coffey.
Dishant Patel.
Nathan Brigger Collins.
Kulp M. Patel.
Peyton Collins.
Matri B. Patel.
Caitlin Dawn Collier.
Purvi P. Patel.
Breslin Marley Comp.
Maxwell J. Peary.
Samantha Lynn Kona.
Alyssa Nicole Pfeiffer.
Gregory Stephen Conkle.
Hannah Pfeiffer.
Caitlin Ann Connor.
Michael Daniel Peters.
Natalie Isabella Conrad.
Jason Eric Petrillo.
Jade Alexandra Continenza.
Tiffany T. Pham.
Hannah Sharon Cordell.
Cassandra Jane Phillips.
Annika Opal Mann Craddock.
Jessica Renee Pinty.
Madison Taylor Krebs.
Kira Elizabeth Place.
John Ernest Crosby.
Isabel Josephine Plank.
Calvin Jacob Dale.
Jared Matheson Player.
Devin Ray Danner.
Jared Matthew Plessinger.
Julian Conovan Durang.
Abigail Rose Polk.
Vaishnavi Dada.
Ryan Michael Powell.
Talon William Davidson.
Sophia Price.
Nicolas Eric Davis.
Anne Marie Pohosky.
Amira Davoud.
Jeremiah Benjamin Quigley.
Nadia Dalwood.
Yog Rabaada.
Casey Sanga Dawson.
Jack Riley Rabinall.
Mackenzie Sue Day.
Max Radoslavik.
Alexa Joy Deckert.
Varshina Ramathan.
Drew Sterling DiFilippo.
Anjanana Ramesh.
Adrian Destine Delacana.
Varun Ramesh.
Nicholas Joseph DeMario.
Rahul Duri Rakamar.
Isabella Grace DeMark.
Jillian Shea Ramos.
Sarah Madeline Dempsey.
Min Ratanun.
Ariana Marie DeVitas.
Chad Matthew Rieger.
Jacob Derek Devlin.
I know. Cade Reichert.
Kaylee Elizabeth DeWalt.
Allison Renshaw.
Helena DiCaprio.
Alyssa Mackenzie Repa.
Lauren Elizabeth Dick.
Pranau Repika.
Katharina Dietz.
Yanira Renesso.
Jacob Edward Dillon.
Anne Marie Rohde.
Madeline Rose Dorsey.
Avneet Kaur Riar.
Hannah Elizabeth Dubois.
Brandon Lee Richwine.
Anna Lee Dubik.
Leah Jane Regal.
Laura Julia Durrett.
Sarah Catherine Riska.
Aiden James Dugan.
Annette Elizabeth Ritter.
Madison Elizabeth Ernst.
Sabrina Elizabeth Robinette.
Kelly Marie Eckert.
Junior Ray Robeson.
Siddharth Shrisai Ida Puganti.
Joshua Caleb Rodriguez.
Sarah Grace Urig.
Michaela Rose Elaine Roebuck.
Samhita Ilanki.
Vincent Wayne Rowland.
Sandkelp Ilanki.
Elizabeth Grace Rowland.
Catherine Grace Amy.
Kyle Richard Rossi.
Jacob Riley Emmons.
William Walker Dustin Roth.
Christian Escrivius.
Mia Dorothy Rothman.
Jonathan Wade Esses.
Abigail Marie Roy.
Kenneth Lee Estrite.
Tyler Stephen Rudowski.
Cassandra Rose Everly.
Alyssa Marie Rufo.
Sophia Nicole Iyer.
Antonella Russo.
Samantha Nicole Fakney.
Megan Rose Zachary.
Roberto Jose Brown Fajardo.
Akshat Sagdeva.
Catherine Emily Farber.
Amel Sahovic.
Jenna Christine Farrow.
Nathan Samuel.
Paige Elizabeth Fail.
Avni Badal Sangvi.
Emily Nicole Felty.
Narmada Sanivarapu.
Timothy James Fensel.
Haley Ann Saucier.
Cola Fentis.
Daniel Kurt Sawyer.
Samantha Nicole Fingerman.
Megan Rose Say.
Stephen James Fischetti.
Samir Ul Haq Mohammed Syed.
Nicole Alexandra Fish.
Gavin Cole Saylor.
Alyssa Kate Flanagan.
Nori Elizabeth Shallis.
Luke Ringer Flegel.
Taylor Bethany Schmaltz.
Jacob Harrison Flenner.
Nicholas Connor Shuck.
Antonio Maurice Foster.
Ethan Ryan Schultz.
Allison Barrett France.
Riley Schucher.
Caleb Nicholas Frawley.
Chloe Marie Schwent.
Leah Renee Frazier.
Nicholas Fred Scott.
Joseph Montana French.
Sydney Ann Segan.
Avery Fry.
Gabrielle Faith Selkirk.
Zachary Charles Fermanek.
John James Sinos.
Abigail Lee Galliano.
Dhruvi Shah.
Hayden Rory Gallagher.
Shreya Shah.
Madeline Rose Gallardo.
Nida Fatima Shamji.
Elena Victoria Garcia.
Kenneth Albert Langelo Shapiro.
Mika Alexis Gardner.
Malaz Sharif.
Tyler Joseph Gaswin.
Haley Olivia Shaw.
James Joseph Gates.
Macy Ellen Shawver.
Chloe Elizabeth Georgiana.
McKenna Cheyenne Shear.
Damian Ray Gephardt.
Tyler James Sheasley.
Claire Elizabeth Gerlach.
Daniel Clay Sheffield.
Ethan Oliver Gildy.
Ethan Bailey Schellenberger.
Martin Michael Esses Gilday.
Jack Lewis Shepley.
Madeline Ora Gillespie.
Garrett Michael Shepard.
Paola. Kate Paola Claude.
Hayden Scott Sherry.
Lillian Kathleen Gleason.
Tyler Michael Schoaf.
Nirma Gobelich.
Raid Mohammed Schwaib.
Madeline Grace Goebel.
Audrey Bryn Schomper.
Joelle Marie Godwin.
Gabrielle Lynn Shook.
Josiah Ramon Gonzalez.
Nicholas David Shover.
Caitlin Elizabeth Good.
Rebecca Ann Simon.
Antoinette Rose Goodrich.
Hannah Silverman.
Genevieve Carissa Gordon.
Angelie Ananier Sims.
Emma Irely Goulet.
Prableen Singh.
Brett Samuel Govern.
Vanshika Singh.
Daniel Joseph Gracie.
Haroon Sizik.
Donovan Charles Gray.
Michaela Lee Skipworth.
Gabriel Abraham Gray.
Caleb Allen Smart.
Garrett Jeffrey Greenwood.
Ava Marie Smith.
Lillian Victoria Griffiths.
Brian Joseph Smith.
Molly Rose Grimmy.
Caleb Jordan Smith.
Lauren Nicole Grundusky.
David Patrick Smith.
Austin Lance Sell.
Jaden Douglas Smith.
Emma Ann Geis.
Jeanette Lynn Smith.
Nicholas David Gummo.
Kyle Cerise Smith.
Mehul Gupta.
Miranda Brooke Smoker.
Madison Paige Holcomb.
Aditya Kumar Sonawane.
Jiwon Han.
Neri Sosa Rivera.
Ashley Grace Hannon.
Ian Macaulay Spangler.
Alexander Nathan Hansen.
Sagan Elizabeth Stauffer.
Jackson Todd Harrell.
Savannah Elizabeth Susan Steger.
Jacob Harris Hart.
Alexandra Lynn Stephen.
Morgan Taylor Hartman.
Rudy Arthur Stezen.
Justin K. Hartzell.
Brooke Elizabeth Stoner.
Cameron Elizabeth Halbert.
Vanessa Cheyenne Stauffer.
Magnum Lynn Halbert.
Lucas William Stutenroth.
Brea Liffey Hayes.
Glenn Earl Sulzeberger.
Tyler David Heckert.
Erin Elizabeth Sunday.
Cybele Hernandez.
Daniel Anthony Suttles.
Jose Alexander Hernandez.
Neha Preethi Swaminathan.
Brennan Julia Hernjack.
Joseph Ryan Swartz.
Kimberly Alyssa Hess.
Connor Mackenzie Swartzlander.
Lacey Marie Higgins.
Drew Anthony Swieger.
Theodore William Allen Hill.
Mandy Elizabeth Swikert.
Riley Grace Hilton.
Bilal Ul-Hassan Syed.
Madison Move Himmler.
Nicholas Paul Toffel.
Anairi Bashira Hobbs.
Omar Tandir.
Dylan Matthew Hockenberry.
Pilar Tabuenca Navarro.
Chloe Irene Hockley.
Alexander Harrison Taylor.
Owen Thomas Hoke.
Benjamin Hughes Taylor.
Hannah Lynn Holbert.
Devin Blair Thomas.
Stephen Hazim Hassan.
Quincy Bernard Tajay Thomas.
Lauren Alexandria House.
Rachel Bay Thompson.
Chelsea Rose Hubbard.
Eric Lars Thorne.
Sydney Helen Huber.
Anthony John Thornton.
Caleb Andrew Hudson.
Christian Paul Tidy.
Hannah Elizabeth Huffman.
Savannah Aaron Tidy.
Stone Jacob Huffman.
Leila Tahik.
Naga Pranavi Indukuri.
Sammy Ryan Tobias.
Catherine Grace Irving.
Marcus Andrew Taves.
Camille DeAndre Jackson.
Yajur Singh Tomar.
Arthur Jeffers Jackson IV.
Chase Jordan Toombs.
Aga Fahad Jahangir.
Ava Christina Ree Tornetta.
Thomas Gunn Jameson.
Domingo Torres.
Jada Lynn Jancy.
Maria Vittoria Traforti.
Amna Javed.
Jonathan Huang Tran.
Vishnu Jayaprakash.
Samuel Christian Trively.
Taylor Marie Jady.
Luke Tanner Trong.
Amari Michaela Johnson.
Walter Wade Turlington.
John Robert Johnson.
Elizabeth Ann Yulo.
Megan Marie Johnson.
Taya Sin Valcarcel.
Donovan Charles Jones.
Dominic Vincent Varelli.
Julian Pierce Castle Jones.
Christina Michelle Vega Alamani.
Walter Thomas Jones.
Eric Michael Vitovich.
Ibrahim A. Kanbari.
Tyliana Kylan Ver.
Subi Karthikeyan.
Mallory Ann Veman.
Mia Elise Catterman.
Mason Andrew Veman.
Justin Patrick Kaufman.
Vishnu Viswanathan.
Lance Marsh Keller.
Yetta Fogasung.
Mason Mitchell Kellinger.
Natasha Faith Wagner.
Thomas Arthur Kemprosky.
Nicholas Logan Wagner.
Michael Jonathan Kern.
Ryan Francis Walbert.
Hannah Nicole Curtis.
Elizabeth Joan Walker.
Carter Reed Kessler.
Brooke Carrington Washburn.
John Zeeb Imtiaz Khan.
Blake Parker Weary.
Marko Sergeyevich Karlamov.
Delaney Christine Weaver.
Jesse Allen King.
Kennedy Alexis Donita Whedon.
Jesse Porter King.
Jacob Wesley Wyand.
Nikolai Robert King.
Kelly Lynn Wyant Dunkelberger.
Connor Oluwasijibumi Opayemi Kirkwood.
Jacob Michael White.
Caleb Landon Kissinger.
Carly Amanda Whitlock.
Hannah Renee Kissinger.
Kyle Carl Wickard.
Catherine Elizabeth Clems.
Christopher James Wickens.
Luke Ryan Klingenberg.
Julia Ann Wilcox.
Max Dixon Kluger.
Riley Elizabeth Wilcox.
Kayla Elizabeth Koch.
Aiden Douglas Wilhelm.
Vishaka Davy Kajan.
Joshua Tyler Willard.
Alexis Lee Copenhaver.
Erin Elizabeth Williams.
Cassius Michael Kopenhofer.
Amanda Ryder Willigerod.
Kendall Marie Kornfeld.
Millicent Andrea Wilson.
Nathan William Kozlovac.
Micah James Wolf.
Jason Andrew Kramer.
Kelly Jean Wood.
Kayla Joy Kramer.
Julius Octavian Woods.
Brendan James Kraus.
Maya Jane Watring.
Samantha Joe Krebs.
Jin Jin Wu.
Natasha G. Krulski.
Colton Bailey Yenser.
Kennedy Reese Kufa.
Blaze Lewis Yan.
Sage Victoria Kuhn.
Derek Timothy Yost.
Jordan Ray Culp.
Avery James Young.
Gavin Alexander Kuntz.
Nathan Charles Young.
Layla Catherine Marie Kwiatkowski.
Sydney Rockwood Young.
Ryan Song Lai.
Kayla Marie Yuta.
Brendan Christopher Landry.
Matthew Jacob Zambetti.
Stephen Thomas Lang.
Jesse Aaron Zampelli.
Daniel Shaw Langford III.
Keaton Alexander Zhang.
Shannon Eileen Lockery.
Jack Brady Zavarel.
Nicholas Ammon Leckler.
Noah Christopher Zeiders.
Jordan Elizabeth Lee.
Destiny Dawn Zerby.
Gabriella Renee Leese.
Evgeny Zamenko. Nicole Sophia Zwergel.
Lauren, come up here with me. Lauren and Matt, come up with me. You guys ready? Class of 2019, please rise. Students, you may now move your tassels from the right to the left. Parents, grandparents, family, and friends, as Executive Director of Cumberland Valley High School, it is my privilege to present to you the graduating class of 2019.
Guys, follow me. You guys are going to follow.
All right, follow Mr. Robinson. I think they're right under here. We go after the students, yeah. Yeah.
I know, that's exactly right.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, it was right here. Right there. Whoa, good job. I know it was fun. It was fun.
You son of a bitch. But you know what?
Yeah.